And now everywhere that I go, I have to is she here? Is she there? I don't even want to fight. Hey everybody, I am Nikela Serenity, and this is episode 3 of Nikela's Serenity. This segment on my page is called Nikela Serenity because my middle name is Serenity, but also serenity means the state of being calm and untroubled, and also what I like to call unproblematic. Today we're going to get into a topic that's been weighing heavy on me. I also want you guys to understand that when I make these videos and I do this YouTube content, I'm literally doing it from a space where you guys are growing with me. I'm not a person that has already grown from all my past trauma and just so emotionally intelligent, and I'm a person that's learning. I'm a person that's getting used to this life of not being a crash out. So let's hop right into the video. The word of the day today is dignitary. The definition is one who possesses exalted rank or holds a position of dignity and honor. That is the definition. But also, a synonym is leadership, like being a leader, and which is the video's topic today. Stop being a follower and learn how to lead. Yeah, we gotta stop following. We gotta learn how to be some leaders around here. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I'm 21 years old and I was 17, 18, 19, 20, right around the corner. Like, I was just in high school. Like, I'm 21. I feel like I haven't experienced all of life yet that I want to, but I have experienced enough to sit my butt down somewhere. I've crashed out most of my youth. Actually, almost all of my youth. I spent a lot of my youth crashing out, and it has put me in the middle of some things, y'all. It has yanked me back and forth. I have one foot in, one foot out. Like, it has put me through some, like, even still to this day, I'd be like, look, one more squabble. Yeah, I'm gonna show somebody. Just one more squabble. God, let me get into one more little 1-2. And I'm gonna show her. That's one foot in and one foot out. That's why I like my content. Like, I like that my content is surrounded by the fact that I'm literally still growing. I'm 21 years old. I done made mistakes when I was 20, 19. You feel me? Like, and that's right, back there. That's right in the rear view, So I'm just sharing my experiences from things that have recently happened, things that happened a while ago. I feel like a lot of us get in spaces where we're being followers, and leadership feels like a chore. Leadership feels like a big job, and really it is a rewarding job. It is very rewarding to be a leader. It is very rewarding to be out the mix. It is very rewarding to have your money and not no drama. Stop being a follower and learn to lead. If it's one thing my dad never allowed from me and my sisters, it was being a follower. Raising leaders have allowed me and my sisters to do things that a lot of little girls and young men should look up to, and I am so proud of that. Leaders aren't hard to pick out from a bunch because their light and the way that they can control a room, crowd, city, and arena of people is recognized as one of their strong suits. A leader has dignity, not pride. Pride will lead you into being a follower, and a follower is scared. Pride in my dictionary is just another way to say you are scared. Pride will have you doing what the next person does to save face. But why save face in a world full of humans who fail and win in the same day? Everybody has the same 24 hours. What you do with yours is up to you. But it should always consist of being a leader. Whether you're leading people or you're leading yourself to the life that you prayed over and over and over for. So, like I said, I'm 21 years old, and I think I'm ready to share some times when I was a follower and a leader, and where both of those times I ended up. So the stories that I'm bringing up today, right? I did choose some of the worst of the worst. Like, I didn't want to go easy on myself just because it's me. I kind of want to put myself on blast as a former crash out, former follower, you know, whatever you want to call it. I do want to put myself on blast because if I don't put myself on blast and I use an easy subject to talk about and I really don't let you guys know like how bad it really was, I feel like it's not genuine. And I definitely want to be genuine. Let me get this. It's two characters in this story, okay? The two characters, my friend, I'm going to name her Milan. And the friend of my friend, I'm going to name her Sequence, okay? So it's 2022. I have this girlfriend named Milan. We're really close. We spend a lot of time together. We club together. We drink together. And sometimes we pray together. My friend Milan had a friend named Sequence. And this friend Sequence, she fell on hard times. And she started staying with my friend Milan. I don't know the whole situation. Well, I didn't at first. I didn't know the whole situation at first. You feel me? I just knew that she was staying with her. I didn't know why at the time. So this friend, she's staying with Milan, and as she's staying there, they're getting along really, really well. I just remember, I'm only going to tell her how I remember, then I'm going to tell the after. How I remember it is, her and this friend started bumping heads because the friend Sequence got her tax return. And when the friend came and stayed with Milan, when Sequence came and stayed with Milan, I remember Milan was saying that Sequence never had to, this is my family, come stay with me. I never charged my family to come, you know, like this is what she's saying. Like she said she wasn't looking for nothing in return. So Sequence is staying with Milan, and they end up getting to it because Sequence got some tax return money, and then Sequence went missing, like MIA. Not really missing, but like barely talking to Milan, like barely showing Milan any interest anymore. She's not coming home anymore. She's been staying with her for a while. She's not coming home anymore. Sequence went and bought her a car. And after Sequence got her car, Sequence is able to get a job now. So Sequence starts working. And yeah, so like Sequence starts working, Sequence got her car, but Sequence still has tax money left over. So Milan kind of looking like, look out for your girl. Sequence decides to take the rest of her tax money and go have a good time with it. And in my 19, 20-year-old mind, I'm like, yeah, Sequence dead wrong. Sequence dead wrong. Like, though she is still kind of wrong for not looking out, she's not obligated to. Like, she's not obligated to look out. But at my 19, 20-year-old, I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking only on my friend, so I'm going to stick by my friend. When I was 19, 20, I wasn't a crash out. I stopped being a crash out. I've been a former crash out since I was 15 years old. I would say like 15, 16 years old when I had gotten to my last fight. Like when I'm 19, I'm married at this point. I got married at 18. So I'm married at this point, and I genuinely believe that whatever you do in public, it reflects on your partner. But in this instance, this was my friend. This is my ace. I thought this was my best friend, you know. So I'm going to ride with my best friend. Whatever my best friend, I'm going to ride. Like at this point, I started looking at her like a sister. And we're spending so much time together. That's like, this my sister. I'm going to ride behind my sister. When really, it was like I could have turned on and be like, sis, I don't fight no more. But this particular friend, right, she bought this back out of me because I grew up being a crash out. She didn't grow up being a crash out. She grew up in Christian school. And then once I had a lot of friends that grew up really good lives. Like really good lives. Like my former best friend, he didn't grow up being no bad boy. Like he went to Harvard, you know, like I grew up in the trenches. I was in the trenches. So like I did what any other trench baby would do. I didn't really have friends that was in the trenches for real. I had friends that had decent lives. So like when they started to be adults, oh yeah, they was crashing out because they never got to experience that life of really being in the field for real. When you're in the trenches, you're really praying to get out the field. Like you're really praying for a different life. You're really praying to be able to live in the suburbs. The people in the suburbs be praying to live the life that y'all was living. It's like it was fun because it was our circumstances. So I grew up being a crash out. My friend didn't grow up being a crash out to the point where when me and her was friends, she was a new adult, so she could do what she wanted to do right now. Like, this is probably one of the first times in life that she was really able to be like, you know, Poppy. The Milan and Sequence fall out. They get into it really bad. And now at this point with Milan and Sequence, it's on site. It's supposed to be like an on-site thing. And me and Milan is always together. And we go out and stuff like that. And it could be any time that we see Sequence out at the club. You feel me? Like, it could be anytime we see her. So it was more so on site. But me, I'm like, I can't tell my husband. I didn't even tell my husband that we was arguing, because I'm like, if I tell my husband, he not gonna go for that. If I tell my sisters, they're not gonna go for that. So one day I'm on Facebook and it's still on site with them. Like, the beef is still new. I'm on Facebook and she's on live and I'm with Milan. I'm at Milan's house. I click on the live being messy and really being a follower, because in my head I'm like, I know this ain't right. I know this ain't me. I know I don't be doing that Facebook stuff. Even when I was a crash out, I never was Facebook crash out. I was more like an in-person, hands throw up. Seen her on Facebook, being a follower, got on her live and was like, you broke, bitch. You broke. You ain't even got your kids. And let's talk about how I know this information, because my friend Milan told me after they fell out. So now I know all your business. Now I'm finna throw it in your face. You ain't got your kids. You broke. You homeless. Let me see you that. Let me see that whack car. Your car ain't even all that. Like, just being disgusting. Honestly, like, looking back, it was so disgusting. My behavior was disgusting. And this is why I say in the beginning, like, no, I'm gonna put it on the table. If you really want to teach somebody that being a crash out, or just learning how to be a leader and not a follower is the best way to go, it's in a lot of situations, but most importantly, it's in your own inner peace, for real. Like, you can be a leader in the community, you can be a leader out there, but I'm gonna be for real, being a leader in your own life is way more important than crashing out, bro. Like, I was crashing out. I was, yeah, you ain't this, you ain't that, you ain't got your kids, you ain't this. And I'm just like, ugh. Looking back, it's disgusting. Disgusting. Like, I was already growing out of that space. And even in my last video, like, you gotta control your environment. You cannot keep putting yourself in positions, and this comes with emotional intelligence. You cannot put yourself in positions where you know you're gonna crash out, where you know that you're gonna revert back. I knew that I was on a path to growing. I was 19, 20, but when you grow up in the trenches, you grow up really fast. So I was already on the path of pulling myself out of that way of thinking. So I'm 19, 20, tug of warring with if I'm gonna be a crash out or if I'm gonna be a wife. I'm gonna be a good sister, a good auntie. I'm gonna be here and present. I'm gonna be emotionally intelligent. I'm gonna actually start acting on my intelligence, because I actually grew up intelligent. I was in the trenches, but I didn't have no dumb parent. I didn't have no dumb daddy. Like, I had a very intelligent dad where we learned philosophy and we learned those things at home. I had a different trench household because I had other options. I was in the trenches, but mentally, emotionally, and as far as knowledge goes, I had other options, you know? So I was choosing that for myself and think like, you just crashed out on a girl that ain't never did nothing to you. You just talked about her not having this, her not having that, as if you any better. Like, it was just disgusting. It's like seriously disgusting, all because I wanted to be a follower and I didn't do what my inner thoughts was telling me. And I remember my first video, I was saying like, you know, asking for permission to like yourself. Asking you, like, I cannot believe that that's a form of asking for permission to like yourself, because I didn't even ask for permission. I more so just threw it in the back of my head like, I don't like this, but I'm gonna do it anyways because my friend doing it. You grown. You're not no kid. You got tricked out of your spot. You got tricked out of a blessing. I don't know what blessing that was supposed to be in that place, but I know for a fact I experienced karma after that situation. Yeah, like that was some following mess, and I had to sit with myself. I had to sit with that karma, and that's where that ended me up in some beef that had nothing to do with me. And now everywhere that I go, I have to is she here? Is she there? I don't even want to fight. I don't want to fight. Sequence, I don't want to fight. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, I don't want to fight Sequence. I don't even have no problem with Sequence. I was being a follower, and now I gotta fight Sequence when I see her. I still don't know if Sequence, I hope Sequence will let it go. Sequence, I hope you let it go. If you know who you is, I hope you let it go, because I don't want to fight. But yeah, that was the time I was being a straight up follower, like just following. Like, I'm not even a crash out no more. Now it's time to tell you guys about the time I was being a leader. I want to end this video off on something, on a positive note. That way you can leave in a positive energy. You can leave on a high vibe. You can just leave in the right state of mind. So the time I was a leader and where I ended up, I love this story. I was 17 years old. This is why I also say when I was 19, I knew better. I had knew better, because before that, literally, this is even how me and Milan met. Me and Milan met through this story. So I'm 17 years old, and this is when the I think it was 2020. Am I mistaken? 2020. Yes, it's 2020. I'm 17 years old, and George Floyd passes away. A lot of other cases of police brutality is starting to come to light, and I'm 17 at this time. Like, I'm just now graduated. I graduated early, so I'm fresh out of high school. At this point, I got a lot of free time. It's the summertime on my hands, but also I've also grew up in a household. Like I said, I grew up in a household where I was learning consistently, and then I grew up in a household with an activist. So I know a lot. I have a lot of feelings about my people and my community, my Black community, that I shared around that time where all the police brutality was going on. So, I remember feeling like around that in 2020, the feeling was so heavy about all this police brutality. So and at this time I had a heavy social media presence, to where I could get a group of people in a space if I needed to. So I utilized my social media platform for good, for a peaceful protest. I went ahead and posted it, got some girls that I knew was down with it, and me and these girls, we organized the largest protest, BLM protest, in Springfield, Illinois. And we did that together, and it's like, it was thousands and thousands of people there, and we did it multiple times, and I created a space for young Black men and Black women to feel safe to express their frustration in a peaceful way. And I led by example by doing it too. Like, I heard talks of riots and let's go do this. So I got my butt with my social media press. I said, look, we is not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not messing up our own community, because at the end of the day, we still got to stay here. So we're not going to mess up our own community. And then a lot of you don't know the history behind Springfield, Illinois. You're going to be messing up a lot of Black businesses by doing that, because y'all don't know who own what. Y'all just kind of just want to break into stuff and take stuff. Y'all don't really know who own what and whose is whose downtown and around, to the point where you will hurt small Black businesses by doing what you're going to do. So I led by example. I said what I said, and it was a beautiful, peaceful protest, and we're on the news, newspaper articles written about. I have some up there, but newspaper articles written about us, and that was a time that it felt so beautiful to be a leader. I met with the aldermen. I met with the Senate, the governor. It was such a beautiful time to be a leader and feel like a leader. And I was only 17 years old, and having all this news coverage and stuff like that, and it felt so good to say, look, I know this is not the ideal way to do XYZ. It's not the conventional way. And I know the community I grew up in, and they glorify things other than educated women. And it felt so good to be a leader and draw all these people in with my leadership, and even the girls that work with me in their leadership, and do what we did as young women, as young ladies. And I don't even think I was 17 yet. I probably was like 16, about to turn 17. But either way, like, to be a leader, that's why I say I knew better when I was 19. And I fell into a space where I lost my voice as a leader. When I was 18, 19, you are an adult at that time. So, like, You lose your voice as a leader, and you have to find it back when you realize you being a follower is not fitting. It's not your destiny. It's not what you're supposed to be doing. I know I'm not supposed to be a follower. Like I feel it in me that I'm not someone that is meant to follow anybody except my husband. So, you know, I had to respect myself and having respect for yourself as a leader is the one thing that is going to take you to the next level of leadership. I fall short sometimes when it comes to my leadership. Finding your voice as a leader again takes time and courage, but to be a follower takes weakness and a lack of emotional intelligence. You don't lack pride, but you lack dignity. To be a leader is to have more respect for yourself and expect less from the people that don't respect themselves. Functioning at a low vibe will have you acting like you don't love yourself. Respect yourself and expect more from yourself. If you are a leader, then you are responsible for the environment around you. Be a leader. Stop being a follower, guys. It's not cute. You won't get nowhere by being a follower. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that post notification bell for any time that I post. Thank you for watching.